Now it's time for our final story. While the U.S. Secretary of State is over in Asia begging for handouts, the Swiss Alps are alive with the sound of revenge! Revenge! That's right. Apparently the biggest political party in Switzerland is demanding the retaliation against the United States for essentially destroying banking secrecy in their tiny mountain nation. Stacy, the Oracle wants to know, without tax cheats and money launderers, can the Swiss banking system survive?
It appears not, Max, from these headlines. Swiss bank shares tumble as UBS tax probe widens. This is, of course, referring to the IRS is investigating UBS for harboring 52,000 American tax cheats. Swiss party wants to punish U.S. for UBS probe.
Alfredo, the Swiss have been at peace for 300 years. Now they're going to war with America. What happened?
I think the scandal is not the banking system. The scandal is that a serious bank in Switzerland got in this big party in the United States.
Yes.
This is the scandal, because Swiss banks should be very serious people that don't get in this kind of scams. And the biggest bank in Switzerland went to the United States and plunged in derivatives and mortgage and whatever. This is the real scandal of the Swiss bank.
Michael Hudson, I see you waving no.
Every kleptocrat, every tin-pot dictator in the world wants to put its money in a crooked Swiss bank. And the Swiss banks are crooks, and finally the U.S. Treasury is moving against them for this.
Michael, on March 4th, there's a hearing in the U.S. Senate called Tax Haven Banks and U.S. Compliance, obtaining the names of U.S. clients with Swiss bank accounts. Why the attack on Switzerland and not on the Cayman Islands or the Caribbean nations or the U.K. tax havens or Luxembourg?
Because the U.S. itself wants to be the tax haven for the tax dodgers of the world. The U.S., I've seen State Department request that the U.S. make the dollar essentially the tax haven to support the dollar internationally, because criminals are the most liquid people in the whole world. Criminals don't like to tear down their money in the form of assets that can be grabbed, property. They like to have it liquid, and there's a rivalry between America, Britain, and Switzerland for who's going to be the most attractive economy to criminals in the world, and the U.S. says, we want to get the Swiss business. We want the criminals to come here, not there.
Well, Mike, I think you touched on something, because I have a chart here of recycling of money into U.S. treasuries. Because if you look at the other tax havens around the world, the United Kingdom, which includes the Channel Islands and Jersey, the Caribbean, Luxembourg, you see, they pour a lot more of their secret money into U.S. treasuries. Perhaps if Switzerland did the same, they might not be being probed.
Well, many of these Caribbean branches are branches of American banks. In 1966, the State Department and the Defense Department went to Chase Manhattan, where I was working. They asked Chase to set up affiliates in the Cayman Islands, in the Caribbean, precisely to get the world's drug money and arms dealing money and crook money. They said, we need this money to support the balance of payments and to support our foreign military spending, which is responsible for the whole deficit. So the State Department went to the banks and told the banks to go out and get this criminal money.
Well, we spoke to an actual Swiss person to find out their thoughts on whether or not Swiss banking can survive without the secrecy demanded by tax cheats and money launderers.
The answer is definitely no. And that's also why why a whole country and our government is fighting for the bank secret. But if I compare with other countries, for example Luxembourg, they don't have mountains, cheese or chocolate, so I think we are still good.
As the Swiss guy said, I can't see the Swiss government abandoning the banking secret right now, because it's going to be a very bad blow for Switzerland.
The largest Swiss party is calling for retaliation. Alfredo and Michael, they're calling for retaliation against the United States. Here's some of the retaliatory measures they propose to take. No Guantanamo Bay detainees to be shipped to Switzerland. No representation in countries where the U.S. has no diplomatic presence. Swiss gold to be repatriated. They have 1,000 tons of gold, which is apparently residing in America. And they want to ban the sale of U.S. funds to Swiss investors.
I don't think there's a bad idea at all. Of course, let them take back the gold that's theirs. It's not going to make a difference. not selling chocolate to America, that would be a pretty serious problem. But I don't think that really there's any problem here at all. Not buying American mutual funds. Nobody's going to buy any more American funds. They're run by crooks.
All right, it's time for the Oracle to predict if Swiss banking can in fact survive. Oh, tell us, Oracle. Answer our question. Is China recovering or crashing? Is Switzerland going to make it? Yes. Number one, U.S. claims to have misplaced the Swiss gold. Oh, I see. I see. The original confidence trick. You never trust anyone to hold on to your gold. It's like responding to an email from a Nigerian with a request for help to transfer some ex-dictator money out of the country. Number two, Swiss franc collapses on capital flight. That's right. They sold most of their gold and destroyed their banks. Not much safe left in this haven.
I don't know if it's really a prediction. I think that franc probably will go down, and that's the best thing that could happen for Swiss industry and for Swiss consumers. Why should they have to pay high prices for everything just because their currency's determined by crooks at the top of the banking system?
Michael Hudson, thank you so much for being on the show. Alfredo, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for this week. Make sure to tune in next week for more news before it actually happens. And remember, there's always the future.